listening to Menopause Natural Solutions, episode 71, Menopause Superfood Flaxseed. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause, menopause and beyond. Stay tuned as your host, naturopath Jennifer Harrington, explains how to use natural therapies to find your ultimate health and happiness during your transition. Hi ladies, it's Jen here, and today we've got an entire episode dedicated to a superfood called a flaxseed. Although some of you may know it as linseed, it's the same thing that we're talking about. Its Latin name is Linneum usitaceum. That is a mouthful. Let's see if I can get it out again. Linneum usitaceum. This word translates to being very useful. And that is exactly what this seed is. The reason why I really wanted to talk about it today was because it is a wonderful source of phytoestrogens. It contains a form of phytoestrogens called lignans. Now, flax contains 800 times more lignans than any other plant food. So it is very, very useful for your menopausal transition type symptoms. So in case you missed the episode on phytoestrogens in the past, phytoestrogens are plant-based substances that are shaped in a similar shape to estradiol, and therefore they can weakly bind onto estrogen receptors. So when we have a estrogen dominant state where there is more estrogen than we would like, phytoestrogens can bind onto the receptor and effectively block estrogen from binding on itself and can dilute the estrogen dominant type effect. But they also work really well the other way around, where we have really low estrogen and we're trying to top up our levels. The phytoestrogens can bind onto the empty receptors and try and boost the estrogen-like effect in the body. So I guess another way of thinking of phytoestrogens are estrogen regulators, because they can bring down the high and bring up the low. So very, very useful indeed. Now, if we're thinking about hormonal related cancers, so things like breast cancer, endometrial cancers, some people are fearful of using phytoestrogens in this situation, but I have to tell you that the lignans found in flaxseed have actually shown very, very promising effects in reducing the growth of cancerous tumours, but especially hormone-sensitive tumours, such as, like I mentioned before, breast cancer and endometrial, and also prostate, but we're females here, so we don't need to go down that path. But yeah, if you have men in the house, give them your flaxseed as well. Now, flaxseed actually has a very, very long history of use. I tracked it down to 650 BC, where Hippocrates, who was the father of medicine, was recommending its use for digestive health, for regular bowel movements and just optimal digestive function. But when I go through the literature, there is so much information from so many different facets of health. I can find you information on the benefits of flaxseed and preventing against cardiovascular disease, lowering cholesterol for atherosclerosis. It can also help to stabilize blood sugar levels and reduce diabetes. It's good for arthritis, for osteoporosis, for immune issues, for neurological disorders. There is just not much that this little seed can't do. When we're breaking apart this little seed, what's actually in it is protein. It is a very good source of protein and has essential fatty acids in it. It is one of the richest sources of alpha-linolenic acid. It is a fiber with both a soluble and an insoluble fiber. It contains vitamins A, B, C, and E. When we're looking at its mineral content, it contains magnesium, sodium, potassium, iron, copper, manganese, and zinc. It is an antioxidant. So I guess you guys want to know how much you should be having and how regularly. So the literature is looking at 2 tablespoons daily. What you really want to find is the freshest source of flax seeds you can. And when you're storing them, you want them to be in an airtight, dark, sealed container, preferably in the fridge, although I do know some people who keep them in the freezer. I guess it depends on where you live and how much mold or humidity you're likely to expose them to. So with flax seeds, I do recommend that you grind them up as you go. So I would generally do a couple of days to a week in advance. Just pop them in a coffee grinder, grind away, and use that fresh. I have mentioned in the past that I sometimes make a mix called LSA, which is linseed, sunflower seeds, and almonds, and I'll put that in a container, put that in the coffee blender, blend it all up, and then I quite often use this as an alternative to breadcrumbs. So if I'm making my alternative, well, we call it chicken LSA, but it's kind of like chicken schnitzel, where I get my chicken breasts, dunk them in egg, and then coat them in the LSA before cooking them. You might want to sprinkle this over your food. You might want to put it in your smoothies, in your salads. Some people soak them in water and then drink it that way. If you have purchased the interactive version of my book From Invisible to Invincible, there is some recipes in there, and what I've got in there is the nut and seed porridge, which certainly contains flaxseed, and there is also a phytoestrogen seed cracker recipe. So if you have purchased the book, if you haven't downloaded the recipes, please go back and look at them. There's at least 2 that are flaxseed based. Other people make flaxseed muffins or seed balls. There is so many things you can do with flax seeds, and I want to let you know that early next year we're rerunning the Menopause Makeover program. This is a 3-month program. 1 month is focusing on nutrition, and in that nutrition component of the program, I give you recipes and I give you other menopause superfoods that we should be trying to combine into our diet. So keep that in mind. If that is something that interests you, the other 2 months are lifestyle and environmental health. You can actually join the wait list, and that way we can inform you when we're doing any early bird bonuses or just opening the cart so that you don't miss out. I will put that link in to the show notes, but it's directly from my website in the group programs tab in Menopause Makeover. But guys, that's it. It's very, very short and sweet today. I really wanted to just talk about a very useful seed called flaxseed that is a superfood for women in their menopausal transition. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Please give me some feedback. Let me know what kind of episodes you like. So if you want to hear more superfoods, I can give you more information about that. If you want more symptomatic help, let me know. This is what I'm here for. It's been lovely to speak with you again today. I want to wish you all the best week. And until next time, bye for now. Thank you for listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide and it is not intended to replace medical advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please leave a rating and review.